Welcome to Wealthy Muslim Woman Podcast, a resource for Muslim women to learn about money, how to create it, grow it, and to protect it. Money is easy. All that's needed is the right mindset. I'm your host, Dr. Saima Ali, with life coaching tools to truly help you create wealth in all areas of your life. Welcome to another episode of Wealthy Muslim Woman Podcast. As some of you may have seen or heard, is that I got certified as a life coach through the Life Coach School. And I have been getting a lot of questions regarding the journey and what life coaching is and how a life coach can help. So I thought I'd create a whole podcast on this. And basically, for me, my life coaching journey started little over 2.5 years ago. And obviously, when we seek something out, we are not at a good spot. Something tough is happening in our lives. And this was another low point in my life for me. And I decided to seek a life coach, even though I had no idea what a life coach was at the time. And it was just something that had been mentioned at a friend's party. And I thought, let me just try it out. There was nothing that could hurt me at this point, and I thought maybe something that may be able to help me. And I started on as an individual life coaching for a couple of months. And then later I discovered the Life Coach School podcast with Brooke Castillo. So I started listening to her, and that was just mind-boggling for me. Just listening to her first episode where she speaks about how our thoughts are creating our feelings. So there's nothing on the outside that helps us feel in a certain way, but it is whatever we are thinking about. And that was just mind blowing for me, that I am responsible for how I feel. Nobody else on the outside can make me feel sad, mad, glad, unless I give them the power, unless I choose to think about what they say or how they behave in a certain way. The power was within me. I could choose to feel however I wanted based on the circumstance that I'm in. And I listened to her podcast for about, I think, 3-4 months. And she was speaking about her self-coaching scholars program. And I was very intrigued and decided to join the self-coaching program. And I did that for about 2 years. And then in March of 2020, I decided to get my certification as well. To be honest, I did not get a life coaching certification to be a life coach and to help others, to teach others these skills. The main reason for me to get the life coaching certification was really to help myself to understand all these tools at a deeper level and to be able to apply them in my own life. And I really thought, self-coaching, the podcast helped me so much. And then self-coaching scholars program helped me so much. And I just thought I could take it to a different level for myself, being or learning these new tools that she was teaching through her school. And I can tell you, it's made a huge difference. And now I feel like I am able to teach these tools to others. It's one thing to be able to, help yourself, but to be able to help others and to be able to communicate with others at a certain level, it requires another skill set. And I feel like that's what the coaching program, the certification program helped me with, reaching to a level where I am able to help and teach these tools. And this is something that everybody should know. Everybody should have a life coach and everybody should get life coaching. And I've just become so passionate about it that I've decided to talk more about it and really offer it. So the first episode, in this episode where I'm talking more about life coaching, I like to start with differentiating between coaching and getting therapy. So there's coaching, and then there are coaches who coach people on life coaching skills, and then there are licensed mental health professionals. So it's not that you need either or, both things can help. There are crossovers between the two, and both are very valuable, but there are some very significant, crucial differences between the two. A licensed mental health professional, this includes psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers, any people who are trained to be therapists, trained to be counselors, they treat a diagnosis or something that has gone wrong in our brain. People have trouble functioning from a day-to-day basis. Whereas in coaching, a coach helps somebody who is able to function and they want to make their life from good to better. And it is okay to coach people who have a previous history or previous diagnosis, but it can be very challenging to coach somebody or to teach these skills to somebody who may be going through active abuse, active either, physical or sexual abuse, where they are so under the ground that they cannot even see the light, that they are unable to function on a day-to-day basis because they don't see a lot of meaning in what is happening or in life itself. And that's where a licensed mental professional worker can really help. And another thing is that I keep saying licensed mental health professional is because there is extensive amount of training required for mental health professionals. They have to go through certain level of schooling, then they need licenses, and then they need certain number of hours in the practice. And usually they are confined to a location. So a therapist who is trained or licensed in New York is unlikely to be able to offer help in somebody who's in a different part of the world or in a different state even. And there's strong regulation by the law. Whereas in coaching, it's an unregulated industry. You don't even need a certificate to become a life coach. So anybody can basically call themselves a life coach. And another thing that differentiates is that with life coaching, you start at a solid ground, and a life coach can help you climb the mountain in your life. Whereas a mental health professional, can help you when you're deep down in a hole where you don't even see the light, and a therapist can help you there. So these are some of the major differences between coaching and therapy. And for yourself, if you don't know where you need help, like whether you need to seek a therapist or whether you need to go find a life coach, some things to consider, some of the things that are red flags that you should know for yourself is when you do need mental health is if you are having any thoughts of hurting yourself or hurting somebody else. If you are on a current medication, if you have a current diagnosis or previous diagnosis, and you may be hallucinating and you may have a loss of sleep or sleeping too much, if you have loss of complete interest, if you are having complete loss of energy, and if you cannot concentrate, then most likely the person that's able to help you is a therapist, not a life coach. So another way to look at it is like if somebody's having a heart attack, if somebody has a broken bone, or somebody's having a stroke, then they go to a physician. They don't go to a life coach who helps them see, positive in this life. You need to treat whatever that is emergent happening first. So people are usually unable to coach you if you think that your life may not be worth living. If you are debating that, then that is a huge red flag that you should seek mental health and go see a professional. It may be a psychiatrist, or it may even start with your a primary care doctor first, and they may be able to make the best referral for you on who to go see next. And sometimes your primary care doctor is able to help you. Sometimes these issues are caused by medical disease. So if somebody's having a thyroid issue, somebody's having another hormonal issue, then many times your primary care doctor is able to see that and help you through it. But other times, if they're able to recognize that you need a more specialist help, then they are able to refer you. So if any of these things are happening, then the first step for you should be go see a primary care doctor, go see a psychiatrist, go see a therapist. And a coach may be able to come in and help you simultaneously later when you are being treated by a therapist, but not without their help. So first person to seek help from in all those scenarios is somebody who is trained and licensed. So we spoke a lot about what life coaching is not and what life coach doesn't do, but let's talk about what life coaching is. What is a life coach? So a life coach is somebody who will help you get a perspective on your life and on your mind. And they can be therapists. So there are therapists who are trained to be both life coaches and therapists. And there are, vice versa. But usually as a life coach, if you're going for those purposes, it's not a therapist who is treating a mental disease, even though you could go to a therapist who is also trained as a life coach. And life coaching can really be a game changer. And usually what life coaching is about is taking healthy people, so you are able to function on your day-to-day life, you are healthy, and you need somebody else to make some help to make your life from good to even awesome. Coaching focuses on mind training. So let's take an example. You may be overspending. Now, overspending is something that you are doing on a regular basis. You're like going and you are swiping your credit card and then later feeling guilty or bad about that overspending. And a life coach can help you figure out why you are overspending. Usually we are taking an action that we don't like, or we are taking an inaction where we're not doing something, is because we are feeling a certain way. And a lot of times we are not even aware of what we're thinking or how we're feeling, and we are just doing things. We have over 65,000 thoughts in a day, and most of those thoughts are at a subconscious level where our brain is just being run, and we feel like it's like an unawareness. We are not taking actions based on what we are thinking and conscious decisions, but it's almost like life is happening to us kind of feeling. And this is where a life coach can come in and help you understand what thought are you having that is making you feel a certain way and which is making you overspend in a certain way. Usually whenever we are having a negative thought, we are creating a negative result in our life. And whenever we are having a positive thought, we are creating a positive result in our life. And this is where life coaching can come in and really help you create the results that you want at a conscious level, planned, and to help you achieve those results and those goals in your life. I hope this was helpful as an introduction to coaching and what coaching is not. And if there are many other questions I have received, so I'll try to answer them as time goes on. And I'll really try to show how and when coaching can help in upcoming podcasts and in videos that I make. So, let me know if there's anything that comes across your mind, any questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. And please don't forget to subscribe and rate the podcast if you are loving it. Thank you. Bye.